find the code. Just empty sounds of stories old. The colors blare, the lights grow dim. I see the world and it feels thin. I'm standing here, but not quite home. A body moving, not a soul. We feel the fire deep inside, and there's a need to hide. We're searching for our moment's time. Facing every choice we made, and what I thought was mine. I break for light to shine, so let it coincide. Doubts aside, I wonder what our life's like on that side. I can't explain what I believe when I look to you. I'll try when you were there. I'll find a place to hide.
Yes, people, welcome back to another stream. Someone in the chat was saying, is that LB singing? No, that's on the watch along, bro. I'm singing on the
I thought that, as it was coming through, I was like, this guy sounds like it could be LB singing. I know it's not you, obviously,
me.
But
if you join the watch alongs, though, I do normally sing on the watch along on the intro. Because I can't do it on the stream, man. But when I'm on OBS, I do. Big up to everybody in the building, man. The lads are joining in a minute. We've got some boys joining later. Danny and who the fuck else is joining? Someone else is joining as well. Steve's on the way as well. Big up, man. But we got Joe for now. Smash these likes up. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well if you're new. Joe, we won the Carabao Cup, man. What are you saying?
We did. Yeah, like comfortably the best performance of the season. Like, I don't think it's even close. I can't think of anything that comes anywhere near that, really. I think the only other game that stands out as being like that big and important that we've won is probably Anfield. And I think this performance was a lot better than Anfield. It felt much more. It felt much more like secure than the Anfield win did. Obviously, Trafford made that triple save early in the game, and then from that point on, like, did Arsenal really create like a serious chance from that point?
The only one they really had, Eddie, I wouldn't say it was serious, was just a header from Jesus with 3 minutes to go.
Yeah.
They had
They
the Calafiori shot, didn't they, which hit the post as well.
Oh, they hit the post. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. But even that was a bit of like a hit and hope from a pretty mad angle and distance. So either way, like, yeah, that's that. If that's all they did from the rest of the game, then so. But to be fair, we didn't create a huge number of chances ourselves, but at least we took the ones that we did create, which is the difference in it between a team that, wins things and doesn't. I think it just shows as well to be honest, if you're an Arsenal fan, I'd be very concerned about that, because it shows the mentality that Arteta's going into these big games with, which is a defense first kind of attitude, which we've seen all season. To be fair, it's nothing new, but if they're getting to like the serious games in the Champions League, say they come against Barca in the Champions League, then they're just going to do that for 2 legs. And if you're an Arsenal fan, you're thinking, fucking hell, it's not going to work against Barca, who score like 7 goals at the Nou Camp, is it? Like, it's not going to be fun for them. But yeah, from a City point of view, yeah, it was like it's just great. We showed obviously Cherki showed exactly why he should be starting every single game, like no questions asked. Like I don't care what happens at this point. Like, you have to, if Pep's worried about compromising something so that Cherki starts, then who cares? Like, he has to start. Like, compromise something else in the team to make him start. If someone else has got to do a bit more of a defensive job so that to accommodate Cherki, so be it. Like that's all it is. Like, yeah, if you look at these stats, like 10 shots. I don't know where 10 shots have come from either side, to be honest. I don't remember either side having 10 shots. But yeah, it's funny that our 2 on target are the other ones that went in, which is probably why I don't remember the other shots, because none of them were on target. The XG there is probably helped massively by the fact that the 2 goals were from pretty near the net. But yeah, but it's just great. Yeah, a very it's obviously.
Well, you said to me last night on text, you said you think that was our best performance of the season.
Comfortably. I said as well that we looked like the old City for the first time in like quite a long time.
That's what I tweeted. I tweeted that last night because for me it was the control. It was the control. Like, it was the control that we had because, I don't know if everybody in the chat has seen this, right? I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. But if you actually look at a lot of the games that we've dropped points in, we've been winning.
Yeah.
We've been winning it, and that's why it's fucking annoying. But we've been winning in a lot of these games, right? But then we just lose control of the game. Like, we go 1-0 up or even 2-0 up on some occasions, and we just lose control of the football match. Whereas yesterday, and by the way, that's very unlike City. You go back to 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and then the City teams that won all the Premier Leagues, we was controlling the game as soon as we went 1-0 up. Whereas yesterday, it was the first time that I really felt that, like, we controlled it. And there was times, when we went 2-0 up, there was times that we had the ball, we was counter-attacking, and we could have gone for a goal, and tried to create a chance, and we just kept the ball. And I know some people will probably groan at that and go, oh, why didn't we go for the third? Why didn't we go? We should have gone for it. But that's where we've gone wrong in certain situations over the last 18 months. We've been too focused on, like, just going for it and not control it. Was yesterday. That's why I was and I'm interested to get your take on this. This is why I was very, very impressed with Jeremy Doku's second half performance yesterday, Joey.
Yeah.
Because rather than just try to take players on 24/7 and do shit, he was like, no, I'm going to keep the ball. I'm going to win free kicks. I'm going to pass it inside. I'm going to keep possession. And I said it yesterday. Jeremy Doku's second half performance summed up Manchester City yesterday. That second half, it was controlled, professional performance. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't doing skills and taking players on and beating a man. It was professional, and he did the job he needed to do. Now, Doku won't get the plaudits yesterday from a lot of people, because he didn't get the GA or he didn't take the players on. But his second half performance summed up that Manchester City team, professional. And we've not seen the City team for nearly 18 months. And that's why, put aside 1 second, the fact we won a trophy, which is great. Yesterday gives me so much optimism for these group of players and next season. Because that's what I'm waiting to see. If you listen to a lot of the shit that I've been saying this season, I've not really been cooking the players in terms of quality. Because all season I've said I think this team has quality. I think the squad is capable of winning the Premier League. Where I've been disappointed with these players this season is I think they've done stupid shit during games and up here. Whereas yesterday, I really felt like everything they were doing in that, especially in that second half, it was locked in and it was professional. And it was like watching a Manchester City team of 2-3 years ago, where they just controlled the game and they didn't give Arsenal a sniff. And that's why I was buzzing yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, there was one time I remember in particular where Semenyo got the ball out on the right wing in sort of like the 70th. It was between the 70th and 80th minute. And it was in like a really good like touchline counter-attacking position, and he had it, and because the camera like zooms in to him with the defender, and you see him roll the ball once or twice. I'm like, oh, he's just gonna burst past this defender and try and make something happen.
Yeah,
and he went to do that. He feinted to do it a couple of times, and he just stopped, turned, and just passed it back to Cherki. And I was like, thank fucking God we're seeing this. Like, this is actually what.
And he's only been here a month
to do. Yeah, and this is actually what I want these players to do, and it actually felt like not even just when we took the lead, but most of the game, it felt like we actually knew how to keep possession. Like, how many times have we watched City this calendar year and just thought, like, it doesn't look like anyone knows how to hold on to the ball for 3 passes consecutively without giving the ball away. And yesterday felt like everyone like kind of just knew, like they'd rediscovered what we were doing in 2022, 2023, 2024, like over and over again. And it was really really promising to see that we do have an 11 that we can put out there that is capable of doing that in a game like this. Now, is it helped by the fact that Arsenal spent a large chunk of the game with 11 men behind the ball? Like, probably. But like, I think it's still like, even when we got to sort of like the end of the game, when they had no choice but to put it on us a little bit more because, you know, they were 2-0 down with 15 minutes to go and they sort of have to attack at that point, we still comfortably found a way to like play through their press and find ourselves in counter-attacking positions quite a lot, which obviously we didn't do, which is good because I didn't really want us to just like give the ball away for nothing going up the other way. But yeah, it was just, I'm just buzzing with it. But like winning, if we'd have won 2-0 and we'd have absolutely stunk the place out but still won, I'd still love it because it's Arsenal, isn't it? But it's actually genuinely, the way we've done it is actually something that you can genuinely feel good about and gives you like a lot of optimism for going forward. And we'll probably at some point come to the Pep question of his future and where we think he does he stay, does he go? But if he does stay, then I think I've seen enough from on the evidence of yesterday. I've seen enough in this squad to be a bit
he's clearly got more in the tank after yesterday. Maybe some people were doubting that a bit, but yesterday showed me there's definitely a way forward with him. I never doubted it, but I think it opened everyone's eyes.
I find it weird that like there's been this kind of like, and I think Arsenal have done this to people. Like Arsenal have made people think that the Premier League is just like now this hellscape where you can't play Pep Guardiola football anymore. Like you have to just be a physically dominant side to win, and you can't do it by playing actual football. Well, yesterday just proved that you actually very much can play football and still be successful.
You can out-tech the PNP, and this is what I said last week, bro. I did a stream on it and I tweeted it. I said the same thing. I said, I don't want City to make the mistake of trying to look at Arsenal and going, Arsenal the best team in the league right now. What are they doing? Oh, PNP, all about let's go. Because I said, there's no point having Pep Guardiola. Sack him and go and get Tuchel. Real talk, if you're going to do that. I think what we need to do now is, I think it requires a little bit of bravery because you're sort of going against the grain. I think we need to be brave and go, no, we've got Pep Guardiola, we're Manchester City, this is how we play. We're a possession-based team. We play good football, and we're going to double the fuck down on it. And there's the players that we need. And of course, you need to get players that can fucking put a tackle in. Yeah, I'm not saying go and get a bunch of fucking Rico Lewis's. Yeah, I'm saying you do not abandon the principles that has made this club so successful under this manager.
You don't need a team full of ogres like Newcastle have. I mean, we went to Newcastle in that first leg, the one where Semenyo scored, and we saw the game out by being techie. We didn't try and out-physical them. Arsenal are the exact same way. They don't play technical football. They try and bruise you to death. We're never going to be more physical than Newcastle or Arsenal, so the only way we can beat them is by playing our own game.
Agreed, bro. Agreed. And this is. I go back to, if you go back a few years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago, when Arsenal didn't play this brand of football. They played good football. They played this very similar brand of football to City, but we slapped them up every time we played them. We beat them every time. Why? Because we're better than them at it. Now, what you don't want to do, because respect where respect's due. Arsenal are quite good at this fucking, brute football. You don't want to try and take them on at their own game and be second best, because if you're second best, you will end up finishing second and they'll beat you. I think City, need to double down on these techie ballers and get playing some good football again and just out-tech them, man. We did it at Newcastle. We played great that day with technical players. Nori played, Cherki played. We had some techie ballers on the... Reinders, I think, played that game as well. We played some techie football. We played some really good football. Just because a team, is physical, don't mean you just have to play all your physical brutes. Yeah, not all the time. Now, again, you do have to have some physicality in the side, and I think that's probably why they're looking at players like Elliot Anderson, who can play football, but also has the physicality and athleticism to get around the pitch. I was just going to say,
like Nico G is like a perfect example of a player who's got the physical side of things. Like he's 6'2". He's like obviously clearly 6'1", 6'2", clearly very capable, like in the air, can do like the physical side of things, but is for me probably technically above probably every Arsenal midfielder, unless there's someone who I'm forgetting here. I think he's probably technically above all of those players, but he is also physical, and that's fine. And like, you know, Semenyo's one who, like, again, like he's clearly a very physical forward and someone who we've bought for the sort of the physical pressing running side of things. But he is clearly like technically quite capable, and I think we'll see the best of that maybe after the summer when he has an international break, when he has a full like summer and a pre-season and stuff like that. Is Ghana going to the World Cup?
They're in England's group with Panama, Croatia. Yeah.
Oh fuck! So he's not even getting like a full pre-season with everyone. Well, we'll see.
Hopefully we'll see. Well, they're not going to make it very far, are they? You'll probably.
That's true. He's probably got the full. He's probably got the full pre-season, hasn't he? Yeah. So I think hopefully we'll see a bit more of that next season when he's a bit more settled into the system and what we do and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm fine with those side. And Kuzanov again, another one who's like he's very physical, but he's also on the ball pretty impressive for a centre
underrated
back,
on the ball.
Yeah. So I'm fine with us pursuing the more physically sided players like Elliot Anderson. But I don't want us to just do that because they're physical. They need to also have the technical side of things, because I do think that, as you've both said, that we need to kind of just, like you say, there is no. I've never really thought about it that way, but there is literally no point in having Pep Guardiola if you are not going to try and play Pep Guardiola football.
Don't do it.
I don't want Pep to try to devolve into Mikel Arteta when Pep is already like the best in the business anyway. Like,
and it's very easy though, Joe. It's very easy when you see that everyone's playing this brand of football. You see that Arsenal have got all these like powerhouses and they're top and we're not. And you see certain games where we get physically dominated. It's very easy as a fan, and it's probably very easy as a club as well to go, fuck me, we need to go and get 6'5" brutes. But that is the wrong thing to do.
We saw this in 1920, didn't we? Because Liverpool played rock and roll football, got 99 points. We were also very, very good going forward. Not as good as they were, but we were leaking goals at the back. Next season, we went to sort of defense first with the false nine, and we won the league pretty easily. So you haven't got a copy of the blueprint of the top team. You just got to play to your own strength.
And as well, on the physicality side of things, maybe I'm just riding high off of yesterday. How many games are there this season that we haven't won where you've gone... I think Villa is probably one of the few that sticks out to me in my head, where you go, the reason why we didn't win that is because we weren't as physical as the other team.
But like, Pep also contributed to that with a stupid team selection.
Yeah, 100%. But like but most games where we dropped points,
I agree.
It's just been because it's been because we just shoot ourselves in the foot with something stupid, or we just like mentally wise, like the team are just not there to do it. They for lack of a better phrase, they bottled it in a lot of games. Like, I mean, fucking Spurs, like 2-0 up and then drawing 2-2. Like there's no other word for that apart from bottling it. But you know, there haven't been many games this season where it's been, we've clearly been physically outdone there. We've got to get more physical if we want to win this Premier League. And I think that, like, I think it comes back to the Arsenal thing, where because they are winning the league and they are this kind of shithouse team that just like are bigger than everyone and sort of bully people on set pieces, whilst also going to ground and fucking clutching their faces every single time that anyone touches them or makes any contact with them in the other direction. Everyone seems to think that that's how you win the Premier League and that's the methodology to do it. And it's just really just not. It just isn't. I think a Manchester City side that is even, I'd say 75 to 80% on the technical ability this team has, probably is on more points than Arsenal at this stage in the season and probably wins it. Like I don't think that the difference has been a lack of physicality. It's just been that this team is not far enough along in the development of what Pep wants, which is understandable given the amount of squad turnover there's been in the last 18 months. But yeah, I think that I'd be really disappointed if Pep does stay and he pursues like a further physical way of playing that is like
I don't think
more
so.
steps away from what we've known for the title winning seasons.
I wonder if he and Viana are clashing over that, because hasn't Viana come out and said we need to sign more Premier League sort of physical P&P players? That's what I worry.
Are those not like your Nico G's and Semenyos, where you can have players who are techie but also are 6 foot plus and physically capable, rather than you don't want all Ryan Cherkis and Rico Lewis's. Like,
and you've also got to remember the players that you sign does not also dictate how you play. So you can get your Elliot Andersons, but still play good techie football. Yeah. So, Viana can go and get like,
he's like a Fernandinho kind of guy where he gets around.
Yeah, exactly. So no, I don't think so. Yeah. Like James Harrison in the chat says, I do think you need both, but I think in an ideal world, what you'd be looking for is this is why I think, and this is why I personally think Anderson fits the bill, because you've got a player there who ticks the criteria of physical. He can get across the pitch. He can put a tackle in, right? But he's also very good on the ball, and he can play in that system. Yeah, there's no point in going out and buying a fucking Papa Sarr from Spurs, is there? Oh, he's physical, mint. Well, that's fucking get him to do little five-a-side drills, passing each other. You know, he's not going to be able to do it, is he? So, yeah, for me, double down on the tech, get players in that midfield, and it's mainly the midfield, really, that can, put a fucking challenge in, and let's fucking go again. But I don't think there's that much needs to be done this summer. I really don't. There's
different kinds of physicality as well, isn't there? I mean, like, if you look at the treble winning side, I know that's like the obvious go-to, but like if you look at the treble winning side, like that midfield three was Rodri, KDB, and Foden for large parts of the season, or Bernardo. Now, Rodri and KDB are two players who are incredibly, like technically, like probably the top 2 to 3 players in the world at the time they were doing it, technically. But also both 6 foot kind of, physical running midfielders who could do the physical side of the things, especially KDB. Like it's so underrated how he was such a physical specimen, whilst also being like one of the best midfielders in the world. In a way that Xavi and Iniesta, who are the other two that sort of everyone looks at, they just weren't those kind of athletes, were they? But then you have obviously Rodri was a physical player. Bernardo was a physical player in like a different way, in the same way that he is now, but still physically able to get into that side of the game. And yet we all agree that Treble's winning side was like such a ridiculously technically gifted midfield. You can definitely have. Obviously, I'm not saying that we need to just recreate the treble side every single year. Gundogan as well. Yeah, sorry, there's another one that's been coming up in the chat. Like they're all these players who are like so technically gifted, but also have the physical element of things. And I think that we just need to embrace. If we sign a couple of players who are your Elliot Andersons, it sounds like we're doing the kind of the right thing there. But we need to get players who are like that and can still do the technical side of things. I really don't want to see us become like Arsenal, because that's just that's a brand of football that I would happily not watch every single week, because it's
I hear it, man. Listen, let me bring in Steve Lewis, bro. What are you saying, man? Champions, Carabao Cup. What are you saying? Can you hear us, bro? He's making us wait.
Not.
Steve Lewis, are you there?
Hello?
Yo, what are you saying?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, man.
Yep.
I'm having some technical difficulties, man. My bad, boys. I can see Joe and Danny, but I cannot see or hear LB. So let me try and come out and come back in again, boys.
Come out. I'll do these super chats and you refresh it. Well, you can't hear me anyway, so fucking tell him to refresh. I think that's what he's doing anyway. Let me do these super chats and hopefully we'll get Steve Lewis on. A big up Gary, man. He says, big up, brother. Missed all the streams lately, been mental at work, so happy watching Cousinov lifting the cup. It meant the world to him. Works hard for it and will push him and the rest now. King Cousinov, I know, bro. Now listen, big up to you for grafting at work and that, but now Cousinov's getting the props he deserves, man. Yeah, he's the mainstream media finally, 14 months after I've finally started saying that the guy's pretty good, you know what I mean? Even though we've been saying it for 14 months, so they catch on. Yeah, but they catch on lately, mate. That's what happens. Yeah, they're just. I always say they're lagging. They're lagging like Steve Lewis's internet a minute ago. They're lagging. But big up, man. Big up to you, Gary. Big up for the super chat. Shout out to Akash, bro. Says rumor has it Jay is celebrating with some zebras at Chester Zoo. Also, Cherki doing kick-ups is what football is missing. Taking the piss is funny. And I agree, man. 100%. Now we need to see more of this, man. And I agree. I think it was it Joe who was saying it? Yeah, Pep, man. This is it now. No more Cherki bench, mate. It cannot happen. Cherki has to play. He has to play, man. He really does. You know what I mean? Like the thing is as well that pisses me off. Not about Pep yet. This is about, again, rival fans or like even our own fan base, to be honest with you, do my head in. People chat like he doesn't work hard. It's fucking BS. The amount of times I see him putting a challenge on the edge of the box, like a big tackle, you're like, oh my God, it's fucking Cherki. It's wild. All right, is he sprinting around? Like, nah, like Sterling was, but Sterling was like a unique player. Grealish the same. Like they were
Yeah.
That was embedded into the game. This is a sort of Nasri type player. Like, he will work hard. Yeah, he's not going to be sprinting back every time. But I think people don't give Cherki enough credit for the defensive side of the game and the work that he does. Because, and to be honest with you, I'm kind of glad, that they said this about him, because my expectations of Cherki was on the floor when we signed him. When we signed him, I thought this guy's never going to track back. So my expectations were low. So I'm pleasantly surprised by how fucking good he is defensively and how much he works hard.
I think it's been so over-egged as well. The head shake reaction that Pep had afterwards. I don't even think like Pep was that bothered about it. Like that might have just been like one of those instinctive like, oh, what are you doing kind of things. But he obviously didn't care. Like obviously didn't make any difference to him from that point on. And I think anyone who's seen sort of like the Pep and Cherki after the game will know full well that it.
You can just watch that video. You know what the relationship's like between them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's and I think the idea that everyone was sort of, I mean, there were some City fans as well saying it that like obviously or Pep's not going to like that, and it's like, well, I don't think Pep gives a fuck when you're winning 2-0 in the Carabao Cup final. But I think, would he prefer that he didn't do it in the 75th minute? Yes, possibly, but like. It doesn't. I don't think it's a case of like, you know what, like when Balotelli did the
back heel
in that pre-season game, did the back heel and he got immediately subbed off. It's not that, is it? Like we're not there. So I think it's I just think it's one of those things where it's a player with a bit of flair and fucking everyone loses their minds. It's crazy.
Yeah, nah, definitely. Big up Camaro. He says, I need a public Cafunes apology from Joe. Have you been slacking Nunez off, bro?
Earlier this season, I was one of the people who said that I didn't want to go into this season with Nunez at right back. I thought it'd be a huge mistake and thought that we had to just get a right back of some description, which, I'm not going to... At the beginning of the season, I think that was a fair opinion to have based on just watching 6 months of it at right back, but fucking hell, he has proved me absolutely wrong this season. It is, like, the level that he's managed to reach this season is like well above what I expected of him. It's actually crazy how good I'm almost at the point, but not quite, at the point where if we don't sign a fullback in summer or a right back, I might not be bothered. Like, I still want us to get one because I still think we need two ultimately. I don't want to see Cousinov get pushed out to right back, but if we, if Pep's, if we signed like a 19-year-old and Pep goes, right, well, Nunez is the first right back, and then this guy's going to be the one who learns from him, or just learns the position behind him. I'd be like, right, sick, cool. Like that's the level that we're at now with Nunez, which is, if you'd have told me that I would think that 6 months ago, I would have been after that Brighton fucking basketball defense from giving away a penalty against that lot. If you'd have told me that I'd actually be very happy with Nunez at the end of this season, I'd have told you that you're wrong. But fair play to him.
It's absolutely fucking insane. Like, he's got to be one of the best fullbacks in the world right now. He just has to be, man. It's absolutely fucking insane. Steve, man, what are you saying? Can you hear me now? Yeah, you're good.
Yes, bro. My bad there. I don't know what was going on there, man.
Nah, it's all right, man. Sometimes it's probably a StreamYard thing, man.
Big up. My bad for being late and whatnot, but big up to everyone. It's a good day, man. It's a good day to be blue. It was a good weekend, guys. And this one was special to me, guys. You guys know, like what this game means to me, innit? If anything you know about me right now is I'm a passionate and emotional City fan, and sometimes it can be reactionary. You know what I mean? Sue me, but that's just me, man. And this one hit different, man, because like we just went a year without it. Going into this game, going into any other final before in the last decade, I've always been like, standard, confident that we're gonna come out with the silverware. This game was different because I went into this game, I'm not afraid to admit, it stunk to me. I thought, you know what, we're probably going to play well, because I think for large parts of the season we played well, but haven't necessarily got the result. So to go into this game like that and to do what we did to Arsenal, and you know what it meant to them guys, I've been listening to, one of my favourite things to do, lads, is tune into these guys, these rival fans as well, and hear them melt down. I love it. I was listening to that Kenny Ken, big up to him, man.
For that shit.
Oh, Kenny Ken's a real one, man. He's a good guy.
I listened to Kenny Ken, he said he was like, he felt the tears. Boys, I'll be honest with you, I actually felt the tears after that game, like it meant that much to me, this game, because just getting our hands on that silverware. I don't underestimate the League Cup. The League Cup to me, like I respect it massively. whether you like it or not, some people will try and say what they want to banter, but they all want to win it. You know what I mean? This is a historical trophy in England, and we are now the team that's won it the second most amount of times, just behind Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to say that we have our name number one in terms of winning it the most times in England. That's massive to me. So I'm just absolutely over the moon. And again, the way that we did it, we suffocated Arsenal. Yeah, I'm hearing Saeed say like he thought, or like he almost tried to take the shine off us a little bit and say,
on Midday Live.
What was that bullshit you were saying before, bro?
Bro, they chat shit on that show, man. Every week I have to deal with these dickheads, man. I sold these guys as well. Abdulkadir Kuzanov, as a generational talent. They're just laughing at me, bro. Did you see that?
I've seen it, bro. I'm with you, bro. These guys are telling me, though, that we didn't even play our best and whatnot. I've just been listening to you boys before when I was eating my food, and I'm completely with you. Easily one of the highlights of my season in terms of performance. We suffocated Arsenal. They're not a bad side, whether we like it or not. Obviously, I've been criticising them, and I think a lot of it is shown yesterday why I've been criticising them, because they ain't elite. They ain't what we was. Do you know what I mean? They ain't that good. So, but they're still decent, man. That's the reason they're first in the table. And going into the game, I wasn't that confident. But the way we suffocated them, the tactics, all these Pep haters out there, man, stay over there. Do me a favour. I don't want you. I don't want you back. I'm not interested in you. Yeah.
Mate,
of course,
I have my doubts.
Louder,
man. Say it fucking louder.
I have my doubts on our playing style, right? I put a lot of our faults this season down to our style of play, not necessarily the individual players. We've got some good players. I just think the style of play at times has not been it. It's almost like people have found an antidote for it. But it was on point yesterday. It was what it needed to be, and it was tweaked again because the way that we stopped them playing, we didn't necessarily charge them with the press. We pressed the spaces, so there was no space.
Did you see that? That it's fucking been copyrighted now. The pricks, yeah. And I think my Twitter's just gone down here. I don't know if Twitter's down, people, but I don't. Did you see it this morning, Steve? It might have been last night or this morning. Yeah, there was some guy who done a video, right? And it was what you're talking about there about the press, and it was we had basically 4 players stood in front of Declan Rice and Zubimendi, and then I think we had 2 players behind them. And behind Zubimendi and Rice. And basically, what it meant was that Gabriel and Saliba couldn't get the ball to Rice or Zubimendi. And then they just had to basically try and go fucking long to Gyökeres every time. And obviously, Kuzanov, boom.
You know that's perfect for us, because they didn't progress the ball much at all from my recollection. So they was forcing it, You're playing into our hands, baby. We got one of the bosses, one of the best centre backs in the league to do that. One of Kusanov's best things, he can play the ball well, but he can. What his best thing is fucking kick and run, baby. You know what I mean? Go on then. I'll race any man. And he was bodying Gyökeres. He was no mug in terms of his physicality. Gyökeres is a bit of a beast. We've seen him bully our centre backs in Lisbon. Do you know what I mean? At that time, Diaz. I've seen him throw Diaz on his ass. Not Kusanov. You know, there's some uncomfortable conversations there, maybe. But it played into our hands. And I don't want people to be like, oh, Arsenal were just shit. We made them look like that on the day.
I agree. I think that they did sort of like get a bit of stage fright. I'll be real with you, But at the same time, I don't think, you can see all these things that pisses me off.
Oh, he's gone.
It's frozen.
Oh no!
So it's not me now, boys.
Am I back?
No, it's not you this time.
I think
your audio's back.
You lost, man, by the way. My Twitter's just gone down and my internet's just gone down. Now, you know what pisses me off? Do you know what pisses me off? Is like whenever City get beat, right? It's always a tactical masterclass by the opposition manager. You know what I'm talking about, But we don't really hear that about Pep no more. I don't think Pep gets the credit he deserves yesterday. If I'm being honest with you, I don't think Pep has got anywhere near enough credit for the way that he set the team up, Nowhere near. And I think he absolutely cooks. And like I say, over the last couple of weeks, I think Pep's got stuff horribly wrong, like crazily wrong. But yesterday, Pep got it spot on. And even before the game, we was talking about it in the watch-along chat. We were like, yo, is he getting this right? He's gone Bernardo Rodri. He's gone Nico O'Reilly left back. Everything he did, all the decisions yesterday was spot on. And yet we're not hearing enough credit, man. Yeah, maybe it's because he's won loads of shit and he's won all the trophies and people don't want to give the guy. And then people are like, oh, well, it's just another trophy. But people need to realize, that managerial setup from the manager yesterday was a tactical masterclass. Absolutely.
I think the thing about yesterday as well is why he's probably not getting the credit is because it's Arsenal. So the easy narrative is that Arsenal have bottled it when it comes to winning a trophy, which I think they have, to be fair. I think they've absolutely, like you say, they've got stage fright. I think they've shit themselves. I think Arteta is definitely set up in a defense first kind of
almost to
way.
play for penalties, Joe.
Yeah, it felt like they were comfortable. They wanted a tight game where they'd hit us on a break or hit us with a set piece or whatever, and just do what classic Arsenal have done all season long. And then as soon as we scored a goal, like they had no idea what to do with it from that point on. Like we didn't have a shot until the 43rd, 44th minute or something stupid like that. And yeah, and because we took the lead, that suddenly meant their entire game plan was out the window. But they didn't look like a team that knew how to actually attack us very well because they clearly hadn't set up or they clearly hadn't prepared with the idea of we're going to attack them in open play. They'd clearly set up to do like set pieces or hit it long to, Saka or whoever over the top and see what they could do. Saka's a fucking dreadful footballer, man. Like I can't believe that he has
fallen off.
I can't believe. Like, I was when he was first breaking through like 2 or 3 years ago. I was desperate for something to happen that would make Saka leave because I think that Pep could have done so much with Bukayo Saka. I think he could turn him into such a good footballer. He is such a gifted footballer, and Arteta's turned him into a fucking set piece sponge, and that's all he is now. He's just the guy who like goes down to win free kicks so that Arsenal can do set pieces.
Yeah,
that's all he's become now.
I've got a question. I agree. I've got a question for you on Arsenal, right? I know obviously yesterday we did the sort of like we pressed them, but to a point, and then we let them have the ball, right? What do you think, like, legit is their best way to play against Arsenal, right? Because I've thought previously that the best way to play against Arsenal is low block. Why? Because I don't think they've got the players to unlock a defense. But the con with that is then you give a lot of free kicks away around the box and you give corners away.
Yeah, and we actually did that a bunch in the first half. There were a bunch of silly fouls we made into the back.
Yeah, exactly.
I was watching
in that first 25, 30 minutes when they was on top. They weren't really creating a lot, but then we were giving them all these free kicks where you shit. So do you think the best way to play against Arsenal is to just low block it because they've not got the quality to unlock the defense, but then you're going to give them more free kicks or more corners? Or do you be brave and push up the team, but then they've got the chance of potentially they could get you on a counter-attack? Like, what do you guys think on that? Because I'm really torn on it, man. I previously thought the low block was the way forward, but after watching yesterday, I just think maybe just fucking push up the pitch, man.
So my question is with that is we sort of set up in a low block when we went to their place back in September and we let them have the ball. I don't know if we let them have the ball. I think they actually were a bit more better.
And they did nothing with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what changed between that game and this game to us actually being able to see it out this time? Was it just the selection of players? Because I know Reinders started that game and Donnarumma was there. And
we scored. I think it helped that we scored 2 goals in a few minutes, and then when you get a 2-goal lead, it becomes a lot more of a simple equation than a 1-goal lead. I think that could be it, but I think ultimately the way it was set up yesterday was the right thing to do. Because I think it depends if they're playing with like Marino or someone like that up front who is like a much more technically capable player. So he's going to hoof it up to him. He might actually have a first touch. Whereas if you're going to play it up to Gyökeres and rely on him to either bring it down with a good first touch or run through on goal and make something happen. But you've got Kuzanov to cut out the run through on goal and make something happen. And his first touch is dog shit. So you haven't really got anything to worry about there from that side of things. Saka's in such poor form at the moment that that's not really quite the same threat that it used to be. Who'd they have played on the other side? Trossard, who's like fine.
I don't know what I really don't know what he does.
Yeah, he's a good guy to come off the bench and get a goal in late in games against tired defenses, but I don't know why you would ever start him. But I think I would have been with you, LB, not long ago in terms of the idea that you just let him have the ball because as we saw in that first game we played him this season, and they don't know what to do with it. Yeah,
the problem is with that is they've not got the players. They've not got the David Silvers or the Kevin De Bruyne's. They've not got those players. They've got fucking Declan Rice, Zubimendi, who Zubimendi probably is the best player at doing it. Odegaard, who's just fucking
Odegaard is
if Odegaard's not playing, then that's like their only chance of it like gone. And I don't think he's really that much of a high. He's not much of a difference maker in that sense for me.
I feel like we should I always think back to like first performance that comes to my head is like, you know, the day we beat Real Madrid 4-0. How did we play that day? We played our game and we stuck it on them. And I think that if we stick it on any team and do it how we can do it, then I don't think would be too much for these teams.
Yeah,
and for large parts, I think that's what we kind of did on the weekend. You know,
but with a disciplined midfield. Because that's what we tried to do at Real Madrid, yeah? We went there, we tried to put it on them, but then we just completely abandoned our midfield. Whereas yesterday, look at the Bernardo Silva heat map, yeah? Bernardo Silva spent most of the game, yeah? His big red fucking dot on the heat map was in his own half on the left-hand side, whereas usually Bernardo's up the fucking pitch.
I'll also give Madrid the credit as well. They've got better attacking players than Arsenal by far. Like they can punish you at any given moment, you know, they can just have a second and punish you, but Arsenal can't do that. Going back to Saka, bro, I feel like this guy's been on the decline for a year or two.
It's a crazy time to give him the contract they've given him.
When he came onto the scene, Joe, I remember, like you were saying, when he came onto the scene, and you was probably fearful of him, and rightly so, because I remember a guy that used to beat his man and show some pace about him, but I don't see it anymore. He's got a good left foot on him. That left foot's not obviously he hasn't lost that left foot. He can put a great ball in. He's got a great set piece, but I don't see any danger. Or when he shapes up, even Nico O'Reilly, who's not even a left back, I feel safe.
Yeah. So O'Reilly's pocketed Saka twice now.
It just seems predictable now. It's like Joe said, Arteta's totally like neutered him.
Yeah, he wants to just cut in now and try and find that back post.
Yeah,
that's all he wants.
It's cutting cross to the back post. If you don't have a good cross at the back post, try and win a foul. That's all it is. That's the like, Saka.
You look at a guy like Mahrez. He would cut in and then he could go back outside, and then he could cut in again and go back outside.
We don't put Mahrez in those Saka conversations. I'm saying he's in different. Yeah, let me ask you guys a question then, right? Where are you boys at with the league now? Yeah, because obviously Tariq was on here last night. Shout out Tariq. Tariq's trying to get a little bit positive for the league. He's still not fully given up yet. I just look at what is required for Manchester City to win the Premier League. And I think it requires us to win 7 out of 7, which I don't think we'll do if I'm being completely honest with you. And I think it probably requires Arsenal to drop points in 3 games unless we smack somebody up because of the goal difference. Yeah. So unfortunately, I just think it's 1 game too much. I think, you know, that the Forest game and the West Ham game have just fucked us over. But do any of you boys on the panel have a little bit more optimism than me on the league? Because I'm just basically saying full send FA Cup now. But what are you boys saying? Do anyone on this panel think that there's still a chance here?
I don't have optimism for the league, but that doesn't mean I don't have optimism for the future of this club. I think we are going to cook next season. I think we'll be front runners next season.
Well, this season, where are you at with this season?
I think this season we've shot ourselves in the foot too many times.
Yeah, it's not happening this season. We've done like Danny just said there. We've had the Nottingham Forests, we've had the West Hams, we've had the opportunities to really capitalise on Arsenal dropping points and slipping up at this stage of the season. We've just fucked it. So
at this point, if we won the league, it would be because Arsenal bottled it, not because we were good enough to win.
If Arsenal don't win it from here, it might be the most embarrassing bottling of the lot.
It's right there with United 11-12 and like Liverpool in 13-14.
Yeah. It's so bad. It would be. I think they have to just win. He just has to win. He just has to win 4. They have to win 4 games of their remaining 7, and they've won the league. And I don't know if that includes that they would have to beat us or not, or if it's just any 4. But if they win 4 games, they've won the league, and I can't see Arsenal not doing that with the fixtures they've got left.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it, man. Like, I just think we've fucked ourselves, man. Them last 2 games have killed us off.
I'll add a little bit of a balance to it, even though it could be crazy, whatever. But I'm with Pep in the sense that, even Pep's come out and said, you know, we messed up too much against Forest, and who was the other one?
West Ham.
Forest and West Ham. Yeah, that's what Pep says, and I'm with Pep. But Big Steve, man, the guy's reeled me in a little bit, you know, because I look at it this way. Like, I'm thinking of this: we win that game in hand, so that's 6, and then beat them. That's only 3 points. 3 points is not too. I understand they've got the goal difference, but if we beat them, the goal difference helps. If we beat them 2-0, 3-0, the goal difference is nice.
Difference goes both ways if you beat them.
So I'm just thinking in my head. Let's say it's just 3 points. 3 points, man. I've seen worse.
I think I'm looking at the fixtures. I think you need to slap Burnley up for there to be any chance because of the goal difference. I think you're probably going to need to put 4 or 5 past Burnley, man.
Isn't Burnley like end of April? Maybe they'll be mathematically.
I think it's in 3 or 4 games. I think it's in 3 games. I think it might be the game after Arsenal, actually.
I'd love Burnley to be an awkward game for them because they're going down. They're on 20 points, I think, mate. And, you know, sometimes when teams have nothing to play for, sometimes they're the most dangerous, you know. So, I don't know.
They just go out there and play football.
Awkward, man. We'll see. But
I'm not expecting us to win it, but what I do want is I want us to end the game on a good note. I want to win the FA Cup and I want to end on a good run of form in the league. Because last season, for a variety of reasons, ended on a really, really bad taste with the Palace game, with the whole Club World Cup thing. I want it to be like 16-17, where I think we only lost like 1 league game in the second half of the season. And we ended up ending that season going like, all right, I see the vision. We're going to cook next season. When the break comes in the summer, I want to be pissed off that there's a break in the summer and not like, okay, we need this break.
You want to get straight back into it?
Yes, I just want to end strong. That's all I want to ask of this team.
I think my only sort of hope for the Premier League this season is that this defeat really fucks with Arsenal. That's the only thing that it can that's the only way that it can really spin for us, I think. But I think the fact that it comes just before the international break is probably pretty fortunate for Arsenal, to be honest. They've got 2 weeks to sort of get over it and regroup and sort of come back to it.
Well, it can work both ways, that though, Joe. Yeah, because like sometimes when you did lose, it's best just to get straight back on the horse, man.
There is that.
Because now they've got this marinading. They're all doing emergency streams talking about, oh my God, what about if this affects the players? They're going to be doing this for the next 2 weeks. The players are pulling out of international break. They're going to be
there is that degree of bedwetting because of the whole international thing. Like you can tell,
it can work both ways. So you don't know, man. But
there is also the fact that a lot of the guys as well, a lot of their players will be going to international break with the City players that have just won it and just have to sit with that for Declan Rice is going to be there chilling on international duty with John Stones and Phil Foden and all the other boys who've actually done it and will be not happy about that. So. Yeah, there is that.
If Arsenal let this league slip this season, I don't think they'll ever win it. Because
it does. It feels like that. I think they will. As much as we're all saying all this, I think the percentage of us winning it from here is like less than 1%. I think Arsenal will go on and do it. And I think that.
I wouldn't say less than 1. I'd say like 5 to 10%.
But I give it 5.
I'm just not at all convinced that we do it. I think knowing that they've only got to win 4 of the next 7, even with the Champions League as well being a factor in that, if they get through to like the semi-finals of that minimum, I just think the quality of the opposition that they've got, not winning.
That's another thing as well. You know, if they don't get knocked out of that Champions League in a nasty way, that's going to fuck with them as well, bro.
I know. We kind of need them to drop points in the next game, man. Imagine if they drop points in the next game.
If they come back from this international break and immediately drop points, then they've got a real. That'll be like the wheels will start.
Then it's back on. Then it's like, this could happen, man. This could happen. But at the moment, I just think there's too much to do. I don't think we win 7 out of 7. First of all, I don't think that's going to happen. No. I think we will drop points. And I think they do drop points out of more than one game. I think they drop points against us. And I think they dropped points in one game outside of it. So technically, I still think that City could win it, but I don't know if they're going to lose that game. Maybe they draw, but unfortunately, I just think we've kind of low key fucked it a bit, man. Let's have a look at this chat that's just come in from Will. Big up Will, man, says yes, fellas, it's a great day to be a City fan. It is a great day. Listen, big up Will, man. There's a guy in the chat a second ago, who said LB, can we talk a bit about Cherki and how we expect him to develop next season? I think that's a good question because obviously we spoke about him a little bit before about how he's like, obviously, we just need to play him. But going into next season now, what are our sort of expectations for Ryan Cherki next season? Because obviously this year, it's his first year. He's a bit of a maverick player. He's had to obviously get used to the team. We've had to get used to him. He's dropped 21 GA in 45 games. He's just won his first trophy. It feels like Pep's clocked that he's going to have to start playing him. What are our expectations now? Is it first of all that we all agree that he needs to be a starter? And is it a case of him taking games by the scruff of the neck, really starting to get on the ball? Because I felt like he was doing that a little bit yesterday. I don't know about you guys, but I felt like yesterday it was sort of like, give me the ball, I'll sort this out. What are you guys saying on that? Joe, I'll come to you on that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that from it. It started with a couple of sub appearances off the bench, wasn't it? I can't remember which one it was. It might have been Anfield actually, where he came off the bench and he just slowed things down and just really took control of the tempo of the game. I remember Pep coming out afterwards and saying that that's exactly what he wanted to sort of see from him, that sort of him dictating the speed of things. But then I'm sure in interviews since then, when sort of being asked to justify these like non-Cherki starting lineups, he said that one of the things that he's maybe not one of the reasons why he maybe hasn't started him is that Cherki has a tendency to slow the play down quite a bit when Pep doesn't want him to. And but for me, like if I don't know, maybe I'm just in love with Cherki at the moment. But I think if Cherki wants to slow a game down, then it's probably the right thing to do. Like I can't
like a
say
David Silva style.
Yeah, I'm looking at it and I'm just thinking if he's making a decision that it's maybe time to just calm down and put our foot on the ball a little bit rather than just like try a fucking, you know, a mad through ball or like a ball over the top or something, then fair enough. Like fine. Like I'm okay with that. But look, Pep obviously isn't. But I think when you've got a guy who has the consistent GA output that Cherki has, like all season long, it's been constant. He's got the most assists for us in the league, despite not starting like a good chunk of the league games. His goal output is pretty across all competitions is very decent, despite the position that he plays. Since he's been sort of like half playing as a 8/10 and half playing as a winger. It's yeah. I think most importantly from like what we saw from yesterday as well is that he's one of those players who is able to just. It is that David Silva thing a little bit where it's like he can just decide, right, we're 2-0 up here. We're just going to keep things calm a little bit. We're just going to, and if he wants to do a bit of the Grealish thing, which is just bait a free kick out of nowhere to really slow the game down a little bit. That's something else that I think we've missed quite a lot since Grealish has gone. We don't have anyone who can sort of do that anymore when we're in a position
of... That's what I'm saying. Doku was great at yesterday in the second half.
Yeah. When we're in that sort of like that winning position, we don't have someone who we can just bring on to just shit out of the game for the last 10-15 minutes and make sure that things don't get out of control. Which is why we've lost control in so many of those games that we've talked about where we have dropped points. But yeah, for me, there can't be any reason now. And I think that having, you know, a cup final like this, where it's sort of been so at the forefront of like non-City fans' minds as well, is that the actual sort of like, I know that Pep's probably not going to give a fuck about the outside noise, but the general opinion of everyone in like watching City right now is going to be, why the fuck does Cherki not play? And I think that noise will probably help Cherki's case to actually start games at the moment.
Yeah, no, I'm with you completely, man. I just think that like it's time now just to unleash him. I'd play him every game for the rest of the season, and then next year I'd just be full sending him in, man. But I've been super impressed with him this year, man. Like I say, on the defensive side, my expectations were on the floor because people was telling us like, oh, he doesn't fucking trap back, he ain't gonna work. Well, I think he's worked extremely hard, and yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of things that he needs to improve on.
I think what to expect from Cherki next season for me, LB, is like, first of all, I think it comes down to the manager. You know, if the manager trusts him and uses him, I think we'll reap the rewards as a team and we'll get more numbers. For me, he's a guy that like I personally trust him completely because I think his ability to read the game is completely underrated. Like you mentioned the word David Silva. You know, he's a guy that, you know, the best thing about David Silva was knowing when and where to play the ball, when to play the ball, reading the game and analysing what do we need now. Do we need to go faster? Do we need to attack fast? Or do we need to just put my foot on the ball a little minute? And I think he does that really well, and I trust him completely. I'd like to see him, obviously, be trusted more by the manager, but maybe he's turned a bit of a corner now, and maybe Pep's realising that as well. And if going into next season, we'll reap the rewards. I truly believe that.
Where do you guys want to see him play? 10, right wing, left wing?
Any of those, bro, because when I see him on that right wing, I think he's just as good because he's not a guy that needs to rely on dynamite pace because he's got the tech, like the tech to make up for the pace and power. Do you know what I mean? And he's also not weak as well. Like, strong enough guy, and he knows how to draw fouls. I think it doesn't matter. But number 10 makes sense. But even if I do see him drift outside, he's one of them. Give him the keys, bro. Let him do it. If he wants to drift aside that right outside, then I trust him to do that, bro.
Yeah, no, out of possession, probably just play on the right, but I want him to float around. It's kind of anti-Pep, but let him choose his own position. I mean, I know Pep did that Barcelona.
De Bruyne style.
Yeah, De Bruyne style, exactly. Not necessarily a false 9 because you got the big lanky Norwegian being the number 9, but I just like him to float around everywhere, wherever he can be a nuisance, just go there.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I think next season, man, he could go off. I think he's embarrassed Florian Wirtz, if I'm being honest with you.
I'd love to just give one guy a shout out, LB, on the team. A more not so obvious name. That's if he was willing to move on there. But
yeah, cool.
Give this guy a special mention, bro. Nathan Ake, because he's not the obvious person to shout out, and people, we probably wouldn't really talk about him if you're going to do a typical stream about the game. But for me, I'm sure there would have been many people worried about seeing his name on the team sheet yesterday. Probably worried like myself was when I seen Ruben Diaz out and Matt Gay was out. So I'll be honest, bro. The first guy I actually thought of was fucking Max Alleyne, mate. I thought, oh my god, is Max Alleyne going to play? Nathan Ake was in there, and I just think he was like absolutely excellent, bro. Like captain level material. I think if he stays one more year, which he's contracted to do so, I think, and Bernardo leaves, and Stones leaves, bro, he's another candidate to be captain when he's on the field for me, especially if he wants to play like yesterday. And if he stays fit, I think he can be useful, man.
Well, I've got a question for you, right? Because I was asking this question to the boys in the group chat today, right? Obviously, John Stones is going. We know that. He's out of contract and he looked like he was going to cry yesterday. So our centre-backs going into next season is Diaz, Kozunov, Gay, Gavadio, right? 4. We got Vita Hayes on loan. Is it worth keeping Ake for a season if he wants to stay as a 5th choice, like emergency centre-back, just in case we end up in a situation where we've got an injury crisis again? Because people might say go Vita Hayes, but should Vita Hayes not be playing week in, week out to develop?
Why not give him a Premier League loan and have Ake take his spot?
Yeah, I'm on that.
I just look at the 4 and go, those 4 centre-backs are mint, but we've paid the price last season with injuries, and we've paid the price this season with injuries. We had to recall Max Alleyne. If he's happy to stay, would it be worth just saying to him, listen, if you want to stay, you don't want to go and play for someone else, you're happy where you're living or whatever, stay here. Yeah, you can go on the end of your contract at the end of next year, you get a sign-on bonus, and you probably will play because he can play left back, he can play centre half, and we'll have an injury crisis. I'm just putting it out there. Is it worth keeping him around as a 5th choice emergency centre back?
I wouldn't personally, because I think the thing with Ake is that if there's any one of those 5 defenders in order of likelihood to get injury, who is top of that list out of the 5?
Him.
That's what I'll give you, Joe.
Yeah,
that's
exactly. So at that point, like if you have an emergency guy, and yeah, ironically, he actually has been available for the bits of the season where we have needed. Actually, no, he wasn't when we needed to play fucking Kozunov and Alleyne because actually, he was. He was playing left back, wasn't he, at that point?
Yeah, he played in every single game of the Carabao Cup, so he was, and that was around Newcastle time, so he was available. Yeah,
and he played left back when it was Kozunov and Alleyne at centre back.
Yes,
so he has actually been available in those periods this season, but I'm just not down for giving a 5th choice centre back like 150 grand a week and having him sit in the injury list for a good like at least half the season as he typically does.
So what would you do? What would your be? Are you happy with 4? Do you think we need a 5th?
I'd let Vitor Hayes come back, and then if it gets to January time and he's thinking, and he/us are thinking, actually you'd probably better go get some football, then yeah, we just suck it up with 4 and just let him go out on loan again. But I don't
know if you can have 4 though, man. Like, we've had injury crisis at the back 2 years on the trot. I feel like we're not learning if we do that though, Joe.
You can't have 4 when one is Diaz, who's been getting injured pretty much every season.
Diaz has been picking up injuries.
Well then, Mr. Mifune, it's time for you to say hello to Manchester City's bench for 6 months, then, isn't it? I'm very happy to have the 5th choice guy be a kid rather than be
pensioner about like. There's no older guy that we can go and buy, like some 31-year-old who just wants to chill for a couple of years.
Well, like another Akanji.
Someone like Akanji, like someone that just wants to come in and just be 5th, like Tricky Trevor Shalaba. What are you saying?
Get
Tricky Trev. Oh, let's re-up the Tricky Trev, man. Would you take
get Tarkowski, and you can do sexy Tarkowski, normal Tarkowski.
Yeah, Shalaba at City, man, as a 5th choice centre half. No, but is there no one like you take as like a 5th choice who'd be open to coming, man? Laporte.
Just give us just stick like. If you really want to do that and keep Max Lane, then like that's as a 5th choice, I'm fine with someone like that being the 5th choice, because they're gonna be a break glass in case of emergency kind of player, aren't they? They're not going to be playing any serious games, that 5th choice guy, other than maybe the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. So I'd personally be happy to just have that 5th choice be like a Mifune or a Hayes or a Lane, and I know that it won't be a Lane or Mifune, because Mifune will probably get another loan and a Lane will probably sell for like 20-25 mil at the end of the season or something like that. So for me, it's either Vitor Hayes is your 5th choice centre back, or because I think Ake's going no matter what. I think he's going to want to leave.
I think he will as well.
So you either have the choice, then you either keep Vitor Hayes, which I think they will do, because the other option is that you do buy another guy to be the 5th choice, and they won't do that when they just spent. They've got a 30 mil guy in Vitor Hayes sat right there who needs to be integrated into the squad at some point.
Also needs to play. Nah, I hear it though, man.
I think Hayes absolutely needs to play. You know, especially at that age. That's a development age. He has to be getting first team football, bro. I can see in his face that he's a guy that, you know, needs confidence as well. Otherwise, I don't think he's going to be sat there on the bench with a smile on his face all year. I think he needs to feed on confidence and feed on minutes to develop as well. You know, to develop his frame a little bit more. And I'm not ruling that guy out in the future to have maybe a future at Man City, but I don't think next season is the one. And I didn't want to say, oh yeah, I want Ake next season. I just wanted to give him his flowers.
No, I get it. No, he played well yesterday.
Obvious name to talk about, and we probably wouldn't even talk about him, but bro, he had an important role on the game, and you know, he absolutely smashed it, bro.
Nah, I get it.
On Vitor Hayes though, we wanted to keep him this season, and the only reason why we didn't is because we couldn't get rid of Akanji in time. So for the quota, the sort of the what's it called, the squad registration rules, we had to get rid of him. So I think Pep was quite happy to keep it, and by all accounts, like the reports have been that Pep kind of is quite keen to get him back into the squad next summer. So I'm kind of thinking I'm thinking that he does come in as a 5th choice guy, because I think the only reason why he's not here now is because Akanji was still here on the 30th of August.
That's interesting, bro. But I personally would love to see him go on loan to a Bournemouth or a Brighton. What I meant to say, and see him be a first team player there, and see what he can do on the ball, because I feel like he could be a good ball playing centre half.
But you also want him tested though as well, don't you, Steve? You want him tested. Yeah. I want to see him struggle a bit. I don't want him to have a nice life. Yeah, that's why I think it's probably been good for him that he's been at Girona and he struggled at times during the season. He's had to learn to defend and shit. But I think this season, next season, I think Vitor Hayes, get him loaned out to a Prem team where he's guaranteed to play by the way.
As well, like a Brighton or a Bournemouth, you know, they like to have a bit of possession as well. Yes. So it suits him rather than going to a fucking, you know, like, I don't know, maybe a Crystal Palace who are going to sit back a bit more or something like that. That could work and be a nice season for him.
Yeah, then we'll sticking with the defence before we go, boys. We'll wrap it up after this topic. Yeah, who's your backline next season?
Oh, that's a good question, man.
What's your back four going into next year?
Depends on what Guardiola looks like when he comes back.
Well, I think he's meant to be back at the end of next month, man. So I think with a World
let's
Cup
just say he's fit and firing,
yeah, I think Guardiola next season will
if
be.
If he comes back, hits the ground running. All right.
Yeah, I think he'll be yeah. What are we saying?
James Trafford. Mateus Nunez.
Are you serious?
No.
Some City fans want James Trafford to play.
I do, but unfortunately, I think he's gone at the end of the season. He's got and it won't be a loan; it'll be a permanent.
But this is your choice.
I mean, if it's my choice, if it's my choice, I am keeping Trafford. But we'll ignore the goalkeeper thing for now. So a right back, I'm having Nunez, obviously. Centre back, I think you've. You can't not have Kuznov in that back four because of the pace that he's got. It's like the same reason why you couldn't not have Kyle Walker in the back four because of what he does for you going the other way. And then I don't even know. Can I say Gay and then Guardiola left back? Because I don't.
You can do. You can say that 100%.
I don't want to pick between those
valid
two
option.
That
is a completely 100% valid option. 100%. Yeah, I think some people would agree with you on that one. Go on, Danny. What are you saying?
I'm gonna go Nunez, Kusanov, Guardiola, and Aït-Nouri. I think Aït-Nouri's just been so good these last 2 months, and I think you've got to stick.
So are you benching O'Reilly then in your starting 11?
I'm playing him in midfield.
Yeah, O'Reilly's in midfield for me.
Okay, Steve Lewis, back four.
Exactly the same as Danny. Nunez, Kusanov, let him fight out with Gahey. Yeah, but Kuzanov's my starting man. Guardiola, left centre half, and Aït-Nouri left back. Nico O'Reilly midfield.
Yeah, I think
that's 550 grand a week's worth of centre back we've got sat on the bench there, isn't it? With Diaz and Gahey.
No, and I know. Like Martin will be watching this and they'll say he's not come to sit on the bench, but like Gay is like a perfect third choice centre back. He's 2-footed. He's an England international. Like whichever one of the two starting centre backs gets injured, Gay can go.
He's a fantastic player, and listen, when it comes to if you want to split up the right and left centre halves, or even not, but he's going to get his minutes. If you're third choice, you're going to get good minutes.
You're going to get serious minutes.
You're going to get serious minutes. So I wouldn't really trip too much.
No,
about that. And listen, if he wants to fight his way to his team, into the team, and to be number one choice, let him fight for it. And it's there. It's there for the taking.
To be honest,
I'm with the bottom two. Yeah, I agree. I go Nunez, Kuznov, Guardiola, Ran. That's what
in a lot of our successful seasons as well, though. Like we haven't even really stuck to a consistent back four for the whole thing, have we? So everyone's going to get there. Everyone will have their stretch of games where they're playing and they're undroppable. So I think it'll be fine long term, but I just think it feels a bit like the centre back situation now, and this is obviously not a bad thing because at some point we had Stones, Kompany, Laporte, and Otamendi all here at the same time, and all of those were very good, but it feels like because we've bought in Kuznov and Gay, and obviously Kuznov's probably a year or two ahead of where the club expects him to be at this point in his development. But because we brought in Gay as well, especially to cover for the fact that Guardiola's out injured, we're going to be in a position where when everyone's back fit, we've got 3 or 4 players who could all be expecting to be the undisputed, undroppable first choice at the same time, which obviously is great for competition for places and stuff like that. But it can maybe lead to some awkward situations. I mean, I look at the Marmoush situation, for example, where he was brought in because we had fuck all going on in that position at the time. But now all of a sudden he's one of 4 players fighting for a position, 3 or 4 players, and he's getting nowhere near it. And it's you've got a guy who's sat there on 250 grand a week who's just not getting anywhere near the team. Is only getting, I can imagine, less and less happy as time goes on. And it's not an ideal situation. But
what it is for me, I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, there is that as well.
Bro, I just think that when you're at a top club, you're going to have players who are not happy because they want to be playing.
They can cry with them wages,
it's
isn't it?
part of the cycle, isn't it? Yeah, they can cry in a fucking Lamborghini, mate. Yeah, they can cry in a Lamborghini, bro. Like, for me, it's part of the game. What the club needs to do is make sure that when they get rid of them, that they replace them. Like, so players are going to leave. Like, Alvarez was going to leave. You know, Alvarez was going to leave. He left. We just decided not to replace him yet. The point is that when we let these players go, and it's going to happen because they want to be playing football week in, week out. It's natural. They're top players. Yeah. You've got to just go and buy another player. And then City fans will go, well, then they'll want to leave. Yeah, they will in 18 months. And if they want to leave, you fucking get rid of them or you buy someone else. You keep the cycle going. What's the alternative? You purposely buy a dog shit player just so they're happy to sit on the bench.
No, that's silly.
Yeah.
What's the point in that? Oh, we'll just buy someone who's shit who just sits on a bench and then comes on as crap. Oh, but at least they're not moaning. What? No, I'd rather have top players. If they want to go, and what? Does anyone care that Alvarez left in terms of like obviously I care because he's a good player, but
top player.
I don't feel bad for the guy. Like, I'm bad against him. Like, he wanted to leave because he wanted to play in his preferred position.
There's not really been a whole lot of games recently where I've been like, man, I really wish we had Alvarez on the pitch right now.
I'd say the pretty much the basically it's the whole of 2026 while Haaland's been this dog shit.
Yeah, no, I disagree.
I wish we had Alvarez.
My point was that, like, I don't hold nothing bad against him for leaving. It's part of football. See, players don't come to clubs and stay there for 10 years. It's not normal. Yeah, so buy players, get them in, they'll do mint for a bit, and then if they want to leave because they're not playing, no problem. Bye-bye.
Yeah. One thing I'll say just quickly though, LB, on that midfield next season. I know we've three of us anyway have just said, like, yeah, man, Nico O'Reilly season, innit? But there's going to be some fighting for places there as well in midfield because if we're going to get Elliot Anderson coming in,
yes,
you know, that's kind of the same position. So Bernardo Silva's going. I would initially put Nico O'Reilly in the Bernardo Silva position. But if we're getting Elliot Anderson in and we keep hold of Rodri, it's going to be tough.
I think that it is going to be tough, man. But at the same time, we need to build a big squad.
Oh, I'm all for it, bro.
We need to build a big squad. You know, remember Bernardo's leaving, Kovacic is leaving, so you're two man down already. Rodri, bro. Yeah, you don't know what's going on with Rodri. That's very, very true. He's still not signed a contract. So yeah, for me, like, just get the players in and just best man fucking wins, mate. Yeah, or in the case, maybe not the case because Nico G's been mint and he don't get a game. So maybe best man wins. It doesn't apply at Manchester City. I don't know, man. But you got to get stats in that midfield.
It's not even just that. It's just having the options when the inevitable injury crisis happens. Because past 3, 4, 5 seasons, there's always been this like solid 2-3 weeks of games where we've got no one available. If we have 11 players available, I want 11 good players available. Like, all due respect, he actually filled in kind of well. I don't want Max Alone having to come back from loan just so we can field 11 players. I'd much rather have someone like Gay or Victor. So,
nah, I definitely agree. Are we having Echeverri next season, lads, or what? What we're saying?
Do you want the emotional?
I respect the commitment, LB. But
did you not see him balling out?
If he wants to be 4th or 5th choice, then Ben's sick. But I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
cool with that.
I'm
not saying get out of here, man. You don't watch Corona.
Who would he come? So would he play on the wings? Would he be one of the wingers?
Nah, well, you probably Pepper played left wing probably, but nah, I'd just throw him on as a fucking 10 when you need him, man.
So that means that he's behind Foden and Cherki. Probably not.
Would he be behind Foden? We don't know if he's behind Foden. We don't know what's going to happen to Foden, man.
I don't hate him. I don't hate him. If there's room for him in the squad, I don't hate him.
What do you do with Foden, man, with his contract? Do you give him a contract? Because you were just talking a minute ago, Joe, about Saka's contract. Oh my god, I can't believe they give him a contract.
Yeah,
I think Foden's better than Saka, man.
Nah, he is, but like,
yes.
Would you give him a contract now, or do you wait until next season and see what happens next year?
I think you've got to give him one now, haven't you? Really, but I think we've got to give it him on a wage where because he's going to get. I'm sure, is it not Martin who said this, and also like a few others, it's coming from a few other places that like it's going to be like a Haaland level deal where it's like basically like a lifetime City contract for all intents and purposes, where it's like a 7, 8, 9 year kind of deal. And I think if you're giving him that in current form, it's got to be like a
bonus.
do X amount do X amount in this season, and then your wage will go up to X or whatever.
That would work.
There's got to be some incentive structure in it. We can't just be whacking him on 350 grand a week.
You can't just immediately give him a bump, because what kind of message does that send? You don't have to play and earn it. Like, you can just. But I absolutely think we need to give him a new deal. Like, there's people in the comments there who were saying that, like, we need to just, like, he's got to deserve it, or he's got to earn it, or whatever. Like, are they suggesting that there's a world where we just let him leave and go on a free if he doesn't deserve it in time? Because, like, I think that's fucking ludicrous. We've got to keep it. Can't do that, bro.
I think
you've even got to show a level of, like, respect almost as well for everything he's done. You know, yes, he's not been as good as he can be, but let's just remember the name, man. You know, you can't just forget about him and bin him off. Let's remember everything he's done before. Remember how good he can be.
I think a new manager will do in the world of good as well, actually, to be fair. I think it's probably good. It's probably at the point where I think him and Pep have just got to... Yeah, I think I've
said this for some time. I think Foden will go up a level when Pep leaves. I fucking do. I just think that he's a player that needs to just not be, like, in that sort of team, and he needs to be given a bit of freedom. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know what? I think he'd work well under Maresca.
Go on, Maresca.
10,
well, like in a Palmer role.
Yeah, I think if we got Maresca, who we've been linked with after Pep Guardiola, I think he could thrive under Maresca, man.
I'm very interested 100%. To see what's going to happen with him under Tuchel.
Nah.
Well,
I don't think he'll play. I don't think he'll be playing in the Euros.
I don't want him going, mate.
World Cup. Sorry, I don't think we've got to worry about
the last person I'd go to, maybe after, like, Jose Mourinho, when you're talking about expressive football.
Yeah, I don't want him picked, me. I want him to have a because what I don't want.
Give him the summer off.
I don't want no excuses, me, next year. Not because I want to get onto him and say, "Oh, you've got no excuses." I want to give Foden the best possible opportunity next year to come and cook. And then if he does, we're like buzzing. And if he doesn't, then we can just be like, "Yo, maybe he's just."
And I think as well, like, we all agree we've got to give Foden a contract. Like, so the club is going to reward him with a new contract no matter what. But
yes,
I still think he needs to kick up the arse of, "You're not going to the World Cup, pal," to really be like, "Yeah, you fucked this. Like, this last 18 months, like, you have not been good enough." And I think these are the consequences of that. You are not going to the World Cup, soz, pal. Like, we as a club are still going to give you a new contract because we think long term you're still definitely going to be worth that new contract. But as the consequence of the last 2 years of form that you've shown, you're not going to the World Cup, mate. Soz. And if that doesn't give him a kick up the arse for next year, then fuck it, nothing will.
And then you give him a
I think the thing is, though, Jordan, the kick in the ass that he's having right now is the fact that he has clearly been dropped. So if that's not a kick up the arse, I don't know what really is.
That is true by Steve Lewis, man. That is very true.
I don't agree with the chat in the sense that it's too much of a kick up the ass, because if he gets picked, he's never really been good for England. If he goes to the World Cup and he has another shit international tournament, that's going to be just as bad for his mental health.
The thing is, though, Steve Lewis is correct, man. Like, he's getting it now. He's not even getting on the fucking pitch, mate.
When you're coming on getting sympathy minutes in the 91st minute in the final, bro, that's a bit peak, you know.
Like, this is why I think.
Do we know that he isn't putting in the effort in training and he's just not getting picked because he's been shit on the pitch?
There's no way we could know that, is it, bro? You know what I mean?
I don't think that's the case, man. I don't think Foden is that type of guy to down tools or not give up.
No. Sorry. What I mean is, like, that he's getting the kick up the arse in terms of not playing, but do we know that he isn't actually responding to that in training and putting in a graft in training? But the reason why Pep isn't playing is ultimately because he is so shit in games that there's no point. And
I think for me, bro, I think Foden, is. I think Foden. I don't think Foden's the type of player, first of all, in training to not give 100%.
No,
but, when he's coming on the pitch, he's not doing enough. But is it something to do? Because I seen big up Gillies. I think it was Gillies in the chat a second ago saying he was good earlier in the season.
He was getting the output as well, the GNA as well, you know.
I think we did it on the last stream, Joel. We went through his stats, didn't we? And didn't you say it was the Real Madrid game or something? In the first, not the one in the league phase.
The one in the
and I got his stats up, and it was like goal, assist, and then in the Real Madrid game, he just fucking died off. So he's not like he's been shit all season. Yeah, he did. He started the season all right. Then he really clicked into gear. Then he was cooking, and then something happened again, and then just
another
boom.
thing another thing that we've noticed, I think how many times we've said this in this on this stream in some way or another, but he had a season where he got nearly 40 goals and assists combined. And it feels like since then, Pep's made it his life's goal to get Foden further back down the pitch than it's like he wants Foden to play further away from the penalty area after having a fucking ridiculous year in terms of output in goals and assists. And I'm not saying this is the reason why the reason why Foden's not been good for the last 2 seasons is probably, I imagine, pretty purely personal circumstances, or he's got to take accountability for what's happened over the last 2 years, no matter what. But there is also an element of I'm watching Foden play when he has been playing and thinking you're 10 yards deeper than you were at your best, and that can only be because Pep's telling him to do that. And I just don't understand how you can have a player who you've seen have that season that Foden had, and then that turns into...
Some people think he's better deeper, but I don't think he is.
I don't see it at all. I don't see it. Everyone's going off that one England game v fucking Liechtenstein or whoever it was that we played. That absolute shit team where he did play as a 6 basically because he could, and nobody pressured him at all, and thought, oh, maybe there's a future for him there. And I know that Pep's talked a lot about him being the eventual successor to David Silva in terms of what he can do and stuff like that, but I think he's shown enough since Pep said that when Foden was 18, 19 years old, for us to all see that actually no, Foden's much more effective as a goal threat at the edge of the area.
Yes.
And for some reason, that's just not been really, other than that brief purple patch earlier in the year where he did get a few goals and assists on those 6 or 7 game run. It's kind of mad that we haven't really seen much of that.
He's a shooter. That's what he is. Yeah. He's a shooter. He's playing in fucking deep, stupid. And playing in deep means he's got to run more. Yeah. And then when you run more, that means he gets fucking knackered and he burns out and then he goes slow again. And I've said it for time and time again. When I seen those stats going around, doing the rounds on Twitter, a couple of weeks ago, about 6 weeks ago probably now, of, oh, look, Foden runs the most in the Premier League. Isn't that great? No, it's not fucking great, mate. No, it's not great that he runs the most.
Mate, that's Bernardo's job.
It's not great, mate. I want him running the least. I want him not moving, getting the ball and having that explosive power to get the ball out of his feet and bang it in the top bins because he's not fucking moved. I don't want him moving. I don't want to see him moving, man. Yeah, what is this?
I think that this Tyrese guy made a fantastic comment before saying he'd love to see Foden be a little bit more arrogant like Cherki.
Well,
and
I've been talking about this for years.
I don't think that's his personality, but
it was. I feel like he had a little bit about him, bro, and then he
mate, I've seen it before, man, but I don't see it today.
I said low key, I'd make him captain, Steve Lewis.
Yeah, bro, I've said it before. He's captain material, but you have to be a fucking first name on the team sheet if you want to be captain as well.
Well, I know that. Well, that's a separate argument. But yeah, no, I agree. I've said this before. I think I don't know who he's got around him, like his friends or family or whatever. Like maybe they try to fucking do all this stuff, yeah. But I agree. I think he needs to be pushed into the limelight and say, "No, you're not meant to be the fucking. You was in the Mbappe conversations 4 years ago." Yeah, now I think you need to push him in there.
It's a perfect way to describe Cherki, though, because, bro, it doesn't affect him in any negative way. He works his socks off. He's still intelligent on the football pitch, but he will also get kicked, lie down on the floor, and look at the fans and smile, and then start rolling around on the floor again. That little bit of arrogance, that little bit of, snideness almost that Cherki shows, man. Cherki's got that. He's showing that in abundance.
Well, didn't Cherki say he wants to be the best player in the world when he joined City? Or win the Ballon d'Or?
I don't know, bro. But
I swear he said something like that when he joined City.
Who else are you going to start doing kick-ups?
He's got his ego, bro. You need to have a bit of ego. Yeah. I think Foden did have a little bit of an ego about him, and then I feel it just got nuked out of nowhere.
He did, bro, because when he starts doing all this celebration stuff like that, that was a little bit of ego there.
That's a little bit of ego, like I'm the man. Yeah. I think he needs to be pushed in that direction again, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
We'll see, man. So... We'll have to see. I think we're going to have to wait till next season because I don't think he's not going to be getting starting particularly anytime soon. Maybe in the FA Cup he might, but I think in the Premier League, bro, he's going to be full sending Cherki, and rightly so, man.
If I was his mate, I'd just be like, bro, you get the fucking ball, yeah, dribble past bare players and smack it top bins.
Because he can, bro. We know how good.
Why didn't anyone else think of
frustrating.
And Carl Foden, mate. Right, let's get out of here, man. I got a headache. Big up to Haneen says if Ake is fifth choice, a few minutes, less injuries. Maybe.
That is true.
Maybe, but this guy might get injured in training, bro.
Like he might just put a Christmas tree up the wrong way.
He might put bro. You never know, do you, Haneen? But that's the hope. If he's not actually playing, he wouldn't. But then if he's that's the hope. But he'd probably get injured fucking getting out of bed or something, man. But big up to you boys for jumping on.
That's like me these days, man. Fucking hell. Can't even get out of the shower without getting injured. Me these days. Wow.
You hit 30. Where you at?
I ain't there yet.
Not there yet, no.
I'm 27.
And you cooks, bro. The rule.
Yeah, wait till you hit 30. That's when it's a bad time.
Nah, defo, man. Listen, big up to everybody in the building, man. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the stream. If you did, do me a favor, smash the likes up. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well if you're new. I should be on with Hugh Murray tomorrow. Hugh was at the game, so we'll get his takes on it. And then, I think I'll be on with Jay and Pulpy later on in the week. Them two were just knackered. They both went to the game and just said a bit. They were both booked. So, now, big up to you guys. Do me a favor, smash the likes. Make sure you guys are subscribed, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.